Hi everybody, welcome to Cooking with Kimmie. Today we're making Tofu Tikka Masala. Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Kimmie. We are filming on a different day. This is a different black shirt. Joke lang. It's the same day. It's a long day. I was gonna say it's a meat-free recipe for Lent, but I'm pretty sure this is publishing after Lent, so this is just a meat-free recipe. I'm so hungry. So this Tofu Tikka Masala comes together pretty quickly. It's a vegetarian version of the dish. You could easily make it vegan if you don't use butter or cream, but like, why would you do that? Just kidding. You can see we just have a couple of ingredients and I'm gonna talk you through the recipe. It's very simple and very easy, but packed with a lot of flavor. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we have a pan here over medium-high heat, and I'm just gonna add our oil. This is technically a one-pot dish. I'm gonna use a blender to blend the sauce into kind of like a smooth puree. When the oil is heated through, we're just going to add our onion. This is one white onion, roughly chopped, some ginger, and a clove of garlic. So once your onions are translucent and beginning to color, we're just going to add our spices. So here we have some garam masala. If you don't have it and you kind of want to make your own, we do have a post about what goes into garam masala and how to kind of hack it so that you can make it at home with spices you might already have. So this is really the base flavor, and I'm using about a tablespoon here. Here I have some paprika and cumin. So because these are raw ground spices, you want to toast them a little bit just to release some flavor. I'm just going to mix it together with the onions and let this cook for about a minute or so before adding the rest of my ingredients. So after your spices have toasted, and you'll know they're well toasted when you can really start to smell them, I'm just going to push the onions and the spices to the side and add our tomato paste. So I'm just putting it in the center of the pan with the other ingredients pushed to the side. That way it has direct contact with the heat and we can toast it and get rid of that raw flavor, and so that our dish doesn't have kind of that like raw aftertaste. Make sure you get it all in there. I'm just gonna cook it in the center by itself for about a minute or so before incorporating the rest of the ingredients into it. So now that the tomato paste has toasted and cooked for a little bit, I'm just going to incorporate our onions, garlic, ginger, and spices with the tomato paste. So at this point, we're going to add our liquid. Here I have a cup of water. You can use vegetable stock or anything like that, but water works just fine. And you want to make sure that you scrape up all the bits of tomato paste that kind of stuck to the bottom of the pan, because there's a lot of flavor there and you want to be able to blend everything. So we're going to turn off the heat, and at this point I'm gonna go grab our blender or food processor. If you didn't want to use a blender or a food processor, you could just mince up your ingredients finer than I did here. So you want to use minced garlic, minced ginger, and minced onion, not roughly chopped. I'm just gonna put in our sauce and blend it until it's a smooth puree. Now we have a smooth paste. So now that we've pureed our mixture, I returned it back to the pot, and then you're gonna add some more water. What this does is just thin it out a little bit so we can cook our tofu in the sauce. And at this point, we're also gonna season with salt. Once we've added the second amount of water, we're just gonna wait for this mixture to come to a boil before we put our tofu and the rest of our ingredients in. So when your mixture comes up to a boil, we're just gonna turn the heat down and let it simmer. And at this point, we're going to add our tofu. Here I have a 500-gram block of firm tofu. You want to use firm tofu here because we're gonna stir it around in the sauce, and you don't want it to break apart too much. You could also fry your tofu beforehand if you prefer that texture, but I'm just gonna leave it plain. I like how it kind of absorbs the sauce this way. But yeah, you could fry your tofu or pan fry it or bake it beforehand if you prefer. So I'm just gonna add the tofu into the sauce carefully because the sauce is hot. And I have been draining this tofu on a paper towel just to get rid of any excess moisture. So there's your tofu. And we're just going to stir it into the sauce. Just do this carefully so that it doesn't break apart too much. So once your tofu is in and you've kind of mixed it together, we're just gonna let the tofu kind of absorb some of that sauce, let the sauce thicken over high heat for about 2 to 3 minutes. So here I have a half a cup of heavy cream and 2 tablespoons of butter. Those are kind of the final touches for the sauce to get it creamy and glossy. And when you add the butter, you kind of want to stir it a little bit more vigorously. That way the sauce gets nice and glossy. Once we've stirred in the butter, you can see the sauce has lightened in color a little bit and is now nice and glossy. We're just gonna turn the heat off and we'll finish this with our heavy cream. So you can stir your heavy cream in before serving. I kind of like to just swirl it on top, mix it a little bit, and then serve it that way. So this is really your finishing step. Move. Your finisher. So here's our Tofu Tikka Masala. As you can see, well, I'm serving mine with cauliflower rice. Hirap ng job na to. You can see that the sauce is nice and thick around the tofu. The tofu is nice and soft and heated through, but it's still holding its shape because we took care to kind of stir it carefully. So I'm just gonna take a bite and show you the inside of the tofu. As you can see, the flavor and the sauce kind of went through all the way. It's also really hot. It's so good. It's a little bit spicy. What did I put that was spicy? Anyway, I hope you guys make this at home. It's really, really good. It's super quick and easy. It's a perfect, healthy-ish weeknight meal. So if you guys make it, tag us, send us pictures, like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye!